In 1996, Dr. Jonathan Reed was walking his dog Susie in the forest near the Cascade Mountains in Washington state. Suddenly, Susie raced ahead as if she had seen something. As Dr. Reed ran to catch up, he could hear Susie letting out cries of distress. What happened next would become the most disturbing and controversial alleged alien encounter video to have ever hit the public. As Dr. Reed hurried closer to Susie's cries, he grabbed a large stick, so to disengage his dog from whatever was happening. At the least, Reed suspected Susie had chased a deer or another animal and was now growling at it. What happened next would change Reed's life forever. He came upon a small rise, and as he reached the top, he saw what appeared to be a short being or creature fighting with Susie. Reed watched in terror as the being began to vibrate violently, describing the motion like that of a hardware store paint mixing machine. It appeared the being had Susie by the mouth or throat, and just then, the being ripped Susie in half, killing her. Reed said he didn't know what came over him, but he lunged forward and struck the being in the head with the stick as hard as he could. The being went down. Reed fell to the ground. He was in a state of ontological shock. Everything he knew about the world had just changed. He started gasping for air. He couldn't breathe. He was calling out Susie's name. Everything was a blur. He did have his video camera on him, and so when he reached in his backpack, he took it out and started to record.
Lucy.
After filming the creature, Reed says he heard a low, irritating humming sound coming from the forest. As he began to gain strength, he could see a black-colored obelisk-shaped craft hovering above the ground. Reed's story doesn't end here. He grabbed a thermal emergency blanket from his backpack and wrapped the creature up to take it home. As for Susie's body, Reed claims the being motioned with its hand after killing the dog, and that her lifeless body turned into dust before completely vanishing. Reed took the creature back to his house and began to do an examination. Sometime during the examination, Reed began to notice the being was still alive. You can see as the being's eyelids slowly open and close. Reed examines one of the eyes and the head wound where he struck the creature with a large stick. Reed would later record the creature screaming on an audio device. Reed made 4 guest appearances on Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, where he detailed the nightmarish encounter and the events that followed. Reed also played the audio recording of the creature screaming.
I felt like I had to try to document this.
Of course.
So I took my camera and I took the recorder and I turned it on and I again opened the freezer, and that's when I recorded this sound.
Would you play the sound for us once again, please?
Yes, I will. Hold on.
Okay. Here it comes. So, My God, that's awful.
Reed, a child psychiatrist employed by the University of Washington, began to make appearances at UFO conferences. He authored a book called The Link after claiming to have found an alleged alien artifact worn by the creature that would allow the being to travel to an alternate dimension. Reed even claimed he could use the artifact to travel to the other dimension. He demonstrated this during a video recording before a live audience.
It's painful, but if I hold my chest, it has a tendency to be less painful, and then they make the decision whether
The more fantastic Reed's claims became, the more attention he started to get from skeptics. According to the now archived UFO Watchdog website, Dr. Jonathan Reed doesn't even exist. According to skeptics, Dr. Jonathan Reed is actually Jonathan Bradley Rudder, a man with no more than a high school education who was working at a gas station convenience store in Washington state at the time of the alleged alien encounter. On Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, Reed claims his house was ransacked by government agents who took all his good evidence, and that the alien body he was storing inside of a freezer in his basement seemingly disappeared. Reed was left with only low-quality video evidence and photographs. Oh, and of course, the alien relic, which he later appeared to use to teleport to a different dimension in front of a live TV audience. In 2010, Reed appeared on Sci-Fi Channel's Fact or Faked Paranormal Files. The premise of the show revolves around 6 experts who review videos gathered from around the globe to determine if they are real or not. Reed took the experts back to the woods where the encounter with the being allegedly occurred. Reed explained in detail very much the same story that he has told over and over again. However, as the episode rolls on, the team's investigator grows suspicious that Reed is not being truthful about who he really is.
I've come here to personally hear your story and to hear your response to it. And Jonathan, you're not being truthful with me.
A team of special effects experts even recreates Reed's alien encounter video shot for shot down to the very detail of the creature's eyes blinking. Finally, Reed undergoes a layered voice analysis. The technology is based on a proprietary set of vocal parameters to correlate with key human emotions and in various combinations to be able to identify deceptive intentions in real-life scenarios. Reed fails. The show's experts determine that he was being deceptive.
Psychologically, he's detached himself from the deception. Jonathan Reed is not who he says he is, and this did not happen to him.
When I first saw Dr. Jonathan Reed's alleged alien encounter video, I was only in high school, and this video was wild. You couldn't go on YouTube without finding it everywhere. Today, it's kind of hard to find, but I managed. I really want to believe this video, but after Reed puts on that ancient alien artifact on his wrist in front of a live audience where clearly the video's been edited and there's been a laugh track of a live audience inserted into the video, it really seals the deal for me, at least, believing that this is a hoax. But the rest is for you to decide. Thanks for watching.